You can easily make some Photoshop mistakes, and some of them can cost you time. So let me show you some Photoshop tips that you can use to avoid those mistakes. Hi, I'm Cristi Kerekes with Tuts Plus, and I create educational videos, as you may have seen on my YouTube channel. Before we start, I would like to remind you that you can get unlimited downloads of design assets, templates, and fonts with Envato Elements, millions of creative digital assets with simple commercial licensing. And you have the option to cancel anytime. Subscribe now with the link in the description. Mistake number 1 is to use the healing brush or the clone stamp tool directly on the background. Let's say you want to get rid of some scratches on this car with the help of the healing brush tool. You sample from different areas and cover the scratches carefully step by step. I wish this option would exist in real life too. After some editing, maybe you decide you want to retain some minor scratches. One option is to go to Edit and press Undo repeatedly. But this is time consuming and you can easily reach the maximum undo steps. Instead, you can just create a new layer above the main image, choose the healing brush again and make sure it samples from current and below. Now you can make the same adjustments on your image because they will be applied on the new layer. So then, if you want to reveal some of the scratches, you apply a mask, use a black brush to paint over the areas that you want to reveal, or change the brush to white and hide again maybe another area. This way you have 100% control over that layer without relying on the undo command. Mistake number 2 is not using shortcuts while editing. So here are my favorite shortcuts that I use in Photoshop to work faster and faster every time. To zoom in, move the cursor in a specific area on the image, hold down Z on the keyboard, move the mouse to the right if you want to zoom in, or to the left to zoom out. When you're zoomed in and you want to move around fast on the canvas, hold down the spacebar and use the mouse to drag the image in any direction. If you zoomed in too far, or if you want to see the whole document that you're working on, just press Ctrl+0 to fit the image on the screen. Also, I use the brush tool very often, so here are my favorite shortcuts when using this tool in Photoshop. First, to activate the brush tool, just press B. To reset the background and foreground colors, press D. To switch between these two, simply press X. This is very helpful, especially when painting on layer masks. You can also use the left and right bracket keys to change the size of your brush very quickly. And of course, to avoid losing your work, make sure you get comfortable with Ctrl+S that saves an existing project, or if you want to save a different version of the document, use the Save As command by pressing Ctrl+Shift+S. Do you have any other favorite shortcuts in Photoshop? Put them in the comments so you can help others too. Mistake number 3 is not creating your own brushes. Like for example, creating your own watermark brush that you can later apply on your photos or artworks. Let me show you how to do this easily. Create a new document of 500 by 500 pixels. Grab the text tool, choose a clean font, make sure you use black for the text, and then write down your watermark, which could be your name or brand. Adjust the size of the text proportionally, grab the selection tool, then press Ctrl+A to select the whole document and use these two icons to center your text horizontally and vertically. Next, deselect with Ctrl+D, go to Edit and click on Define Brush Preset. Enter a name for your brush and that's it. Now open one of your images, grab the brush tool and right-click inside the document. Use the search bar to find your new watermark brush and select it. You can just dab once at 100% opacity and apply it anywhere you want, using any color and even change its size using the bracket keys. Speaking about brushes, you have lots to choose from on Envato Elements. For example, you can create amazing hand-drawn arrow brushes. Have fun with some colorful brush strokes, apply beautiful smoke brushes that are already isolated on a white background, and much more. Just use the link in the description to subscribe. Mistake number 4 is using destructive techniques when editing. Sometimes we need to work with more than one image, like in this example, where I want to place this ball on the football field. Obviously, it's too big, so I need to resize it. Should I make it this small? I don't think so. Maybe this is the right size? I'm not sure yet. But pay attention on how I lost some serious resolution on the ball. Every time I make it smaller or bigger, I lose quality. How do I solve this? Immediately after I import the ball into my document, I right-click on this layer and convert it into a smart object, which retains the original resolution. Now I can make it smaller or bigger and still retain its quality. This is one of the ways on how to work non-destructively on a document. Let me show you another example that is considered a bit destructive. Let's say I want to add some vibrance to this image. I go to Image, Adjustments, choose Vibrance, and push the slider to the right. Let's increase the contrast as well. Image, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast. Increase the contrast and click OK. The image looks fine, but at this point I don't have any control on the adjustments that I just applied. I will need to use the undo command and reapply them, but I don't want that. That's a waste of time. So the workaround is to use adjustment layers. Let's create the same steps this way. I click here, add the Vibrance adjustment, and bring the slider to the right. Then I add a brightness and contrast adjustment layer, increase the contrast, and that's it. Now I can double-click any of these adjustment layers, modify them individually anytime I want, and now I'm in control when editing. Mistake number 5 is not using the Camera Raw filter for really basic adjustments and color changes. So instead of using one-time adjustments from the menu like you saw earlier for contrast, vibrance, and so on, I can also just convert my image into a smart object, then go to Filter and choose Camera Raw Filter. This will look familiar to Lightroom users as well. I can control the white balance, the exposure, the contrast, vibrance, saturation, and so on. I can even shift colors, desaturate them very easily, or apply some color grading. I press OK when I'm finished, and if I want, I can come back and make more adjustments just by double-clicking the Camera Raw Smart Filter, and I can continue editing from where I left. So these 5 Photoshop mistakes just turned into really good tips, right? Make sure you check out Envato Elements. I'm sure you will love the website, and also subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to learn Photoshop, Illustrator, and much more. I'm Christy. See you next time.